Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune, and joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Today, Colin, we have a pair of international guards that we're going to break down: Ben Saraf from Israel and Nolan Traore from France. They're the exact same age. They both obviously play professional ball. Nolan Traore in France, Ben Saraf plays at Ulm, and I think, and which is in the Bundesliga, which is in Germany. Do you have one is this a heavy lean for you, or are you low on both, high on both? Where are you at?
Initially,
Generally?
I was pretty low on both. Sorry, everybody who really likes European guards. But then
Well, Colin is still scarred from,
Killian Hayes.
we shall not say his
but
name,
but
Killian
then
Hayes.
but then I started thinking about Nolan Traore a little bit, kind of where he was prior to this year, and I think I like him in terms of what he could be, a lot more than Ben Saraf. So I would say that I'm probably I'm kind of excited about Traore, whereas Ben Saraf, I'm like, okay, he's a guard that is probably going to go back to Europe in my head.
I
So
am significantly higher on Traore. This
okay,
isn't really
so we're on the
competitive.
same boat then.
Yeah, I think Seraph may not be a first round grade to me.
Yeah,
I
I
might
mean
have
it's close for sure. It's very close. I mean,
like
just to open it up, it's like when you look at both of them, they're both very raw. And then you go, what does Traore have over Ben Saraf? And Ben Saraf is just, for me, just not athletic enough and
yeah,
able to defend or have the potential to defend even
yeah.
like Traore can. Like both of them have their lapses. Both of them have trouble doing certain things on defense. But Traore is just a different athlete, and everything else I feel like can come along with it.
Yeah, both had been heralded as, NBA picks for the last couple of years. Traore entered this past season as, top 5 guy potentially, and he was someone
Mm-hmm.
that we were going to, watch for. He had a very inconsistent season, especially the start was very troubling for him. But I think just in general, like you said, it starts with the athleticism difference between these two, and therefore the shot creation and shot selection of these two. Now Nolan can take a couple bad twos or step back mid-range shots as well, but like Seraph almost relies on mid-range jumpers to a degree that I really feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
It's given very Jalen Hood-Schifino, vibes with Ben Seraph, and we learned every draft class. I was higher on Jalen Hood-Schifino than I should have been. I think I had him top 20. That's not working out, but like Ben Seraph can't get to the rim consistently on his own. A lot of times, whether it's out of ball screens or cuts, like he can finish occasionally, but Traore is actually fast. Traore is like actually has burst where he turns the corner. And also, honestly, like I can see I didn't scout Traore when he was 16 or 17, but like I could see where if I'm watching this 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and he has some wiggle, like he's confident
Mm-hmm.
off the bounce, like he's rocking, he's hanging, he knows what he's doing. And then he can burst like that. So I see all the physical traits there. The questions for Traore are going to come with, like you said, his defense and his shooting, ideally. But like at the very least, he's quick enough to get on the court. Seraph, I don't know if he's quick enough to get on the court. Now Seraph's a very good passer, but like
Yeah.
I don't see the rim pressure enough with Seraph. It's
And
good.
and you see a lot of people talk about how crafty Ben Saraf is and acceleration and deceleration. But when I was watching him, all I saw was it just looked very stiff and like, yeah, he's crafty, but he's crap. It almost looks like it's the peak of what he could do athletically in a league that's clearly not going to be what the NBA is athletically. And so when he gets to the rim, he can draw fouls and do whatever, but he's playing against guys who are not at all at the level that the NBA, especially interior defenders, are going to be. So then moving to Traore, you look at him and what he needs to improve on. It's that shot, like you said. His shot is weird to me because it's like sometimes it goes in, you're like, oh yeah, nice. But then it has that, it kind of pauses at the top a little
Yes,
bit
a
when
little
he
hit to it
elevates.
at times.
And when it misses, it can look real bad.
Yeah. And that's
So
where he's been inconsistent the entire year. It's been
yeah.
very up, down, up, down. I will say something I've written down is, just in my notes is he's 20 of 47 from 3 in his last 10 games. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
gotten hot at times. And He had, I believe, on May 3rd against Le Mans, he was 8 of 13 with 21 points. On May 9th, he had 25 points on 10 of 17 shooting. And he's obviously playing in a high level, basketball at France. And I just believe a lot more in him. Like, if both these guys, let's say, are the same as shooters, roughly, I'd say I
Yeah.
think Traore has a significantly more room to grow off the dribble than Saraf. Saraf, you're hoping like, okay, he can catch and shoot threes. Traore, I think, has the potential to hit like I said, off the dribble, hang threes, like off ball screen type threes. Like you said, when it looks good, it looks good, and he's
Yeah.
actually, I think, can develop that and realize the potential that he's had for so many years here. So offensively, I'm just going to take the more dynamic guy 10 times out of 10 and figure out the shooting from there because, their free throw percentage are similar. I think I have Troy at 71 and Seraph at 76.
Yeah.
So, both of them we'll see, but I think the shooting, like I'm more okay with dealing with it from Troy than Seraph.
Here's an interesting question because I think that some teams will actually look at this. Where do you see both their floors at? Do you see one significantly lower than the other, or one like is there a safer pick in a way between
I
these
don't
two?
think so. I think they're both very bustable, to
Yeah,
use
okay.
a
I
fake
agree. I
word.
agree.
I'm gonna bet, like, if I'm picking in at 20 or something, like, I definitely am gonna take the ceiling of Traore.
Mhm.
Seraph, we're not gonna get to comps right now, but, like, it's hard. It was hard for me to come up with a comp for Ben Saraf, and you don't have to give yours right now, but, like,
Yeah.
I'm over here, like, doesn't get to the rim, doesn't shoot at a high level, passes the ball well, but also I think the turnovers for both had significant turnovers. Both were at like 2.5, 2.7. Who do you think is the better passer between the two?
I think Ben Saraf is just because he's able to pull off more. I think I mean, yeah, he had a lot of turnovers. I think that's more so because he tried to do a lot of stuff. It wasn't just
Mhm.
like uh him like
And he has a
having
couple
errant
inches
passes.
taller, which
Yeah,
helps.
yeah. But Traore, I think, is a little bit less accurate than Seraph is, and isn't able to do like there were some skip passes that Seraph had where I'm like, oh, okay. Um, but again, like how far is that going to get you when you don't really bring or offer a whole lot else, especially on that upper end of potential? Um, I mean, I'll just say my comp because I think it's funny. For both of these guys actually, because I scouted them back to back. So Seraph obviously plays for Ulm. I was like the ghost of Killian Hayes because it's like that. It's like the guy who passes and he like tries a bunch of stuff and whatever. And then I'm
Yeah.
watching Traore and I go, oh, like he's the real ghost of Killian Hayes. And I don't mean that in like a way where it's like cop out or something because he's a French guard. But when you watch them play, he likes to do that step back. Traore likes
Yes.
to do that step back. He kind of almost looks to pass too much like Killian does. Doesn't have that in between game. And then the three ball and pull up game is the thing that he needs to improve on, and that's what hurt Killian so bad. It wasn't really his passing or defending. Traore obviously has to improve in defending, but it wasn't really Killian's passing or defending. It was more so can that shot fall, and it never was able to, which kept him off the NBA floor. So I think Traore in that sense is that kind of archetype where he's an athletic guard, is able to make passes, is fluid athlete, but he has to improve that pull up game and that three and make it consistent in order to succeed in the NBA.
The physical, and I understand they're only 19 years old. Both of them have physical limitations.
Mm-hmm.
Traore can get stronger, so like that's, I think, more fixable. Seraph is just not a great NBA athlete at this point. I don't think he ever will be. So defensively, like you said at the beginning, I have more belief in Traore in the long term of being like, okay, at the very least, maybe he's quick enough to be positionally like valuable. Seraph, I think there's just such a long way to go right now
Yeah.
defensively, and that's what we see a lot of times with these European guards is like, and it depends, but a lot of them are like great passers, great feel and stuff, not, but they're tapped out athletically, right? They can't defend at a high level. I will say they, which we'll have our Noah Essenge episode out later. I watched the preseason game between them and the Blazers, and I thought Ben Saraf was just terrible.
Yeah.
I thought he got killed. And it was, Tamani Kamara and Scoot Henderson and whatnot. So good athletes on the floor. But he had 4 turnovers. I understand I don't remember. I don't have the stats in front of me. I think he had like 12 points, 4 turnovers, 2 assists, something like that. I just thought he looked completely overwhelmed in that game. And that really bothered me, which it shouldn't. But I'm just like, the passing can only take you so far here.
Right.
If you can't beat somebody off the bounce and you can't really hurt them out of ball screens, the passing is not going to get you where you want it to go in the NBA. So that's
especially when there's other passers in this draft that have better physical attributes as well.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm okay betting on Igor Demon because he's 6'9", and albeit he can't get to the rim that well, I'm okay betting on like just his natural feel for the game and the fact he did it in the in the Big 12 and whatnot. Like Ben Saraf, I think, has a lot more limitations physically here. So I wrote down I hate the shot selection for Ben. Just hated it. Even I went and watched the 40-point game he had for Israel. I think it was against Slovenia. No, one of the European countries. And even then, I was like, I'm not buying it. I was trying so hard to find something. I bought it, and I just couldn't find anything at all. So sorry to Ben. He'll probably be at the best case scenario late first for me, probably into the second round, just off of the grade that I gave him. Anything else?
You didn't give your comps.
Oh, my comps. Okay, like I said, Ben Saraf was really tough for me. I was digging back all the way to like 2000 and trying to find somebody. I have Raul Neto.
What a dig into the bag.
I had to just look. I had to find it. Obviously, Neto's shorter, but I just don't see it. Now, Neto was a very good passer. He came over. I think he came over when he was a little older. He came over when he was 23. Neto did. I can't get there. Neto did average like 9 points and what is this? 3 assists 1 year. So
that's
that's where I'm at. Like you said, watching him, this feels like a European, like he's gonna be in Europe.
Yeah, I just feel, and that's not like a knock. Like European basketball is good basketball. It's just, but that's what it feels like it is for him. What about your comp for Traore?
Traore is one I like a lot. I rotated through a couple. I stuck on Dennis Schroeder.
Oh, I like that a lot, actually.
I think he has, and again, France, whatever. But I think he has the quickness of Schroeder when he turns a corner that I like. And then the 3-point shot also is kind of mechanical for Schroeder, but he figured it out. We see the defense kind of come around. He's a valuable role player. I think he can reach a higher ceiling than Schroeder if it all comes together. But Schroeder's been in the league for how long? 11 years, 10 years at this point. Yeah. I remember him on the Hawks in like 2015. So that's a very, very good outcome for Traore, and I'm very comfortable with that as a top 20-ish grade for me.
I really like that comp, actually.
Thank you. I worked hard on it.
All right. Well, there's Nolan Traore.
Did you give your Traore comp?
Yeah, it was as a prospect.
Oh yeah,
Killian Hayes. Yeah.
It was the other Killian Hayes. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
not NBA Killian Hayes, like prospect Killian Hayes.
Prospect Killian Hayes. Yes, the one you had.
The one I had first that year. Traore is not going to be first this year.
We've learned from our mistakes in the past. That much is sure. But yes, thank y'all for joining us. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know what you think down below. Who is the better European prospect? And we will talk to y'all later.